welcome in the
Emergency
episode of the Frosty Takes podcast, the podcast that held the number one overall pick in the draft and traded it away. And not us, the Chicago Bears have traded the number one pick in the draft to the Carolina Panthers for the 9th pick this year, a first in 2024, a second in 2025, and your new number one wide receiver, 26 years old, just signed a 3-year extension with the Carolina
25.
Panthers. Oh, he's 25. Oh, wow, even better. DJ, I don't drop passes, is the best receiver next to Justin Jefferson in the NFC North now. More. Boys, what a fucking bomb that dropped this Friday. I don't want to brag, but did I have that the Bears kind of wanted to do this before free agency last week? Yeah. Did I say it 30 minutes before it happened in our chat? Yeah. But this isn't about me. This is about the best GM in Chicago right now, Ryan Poles, who's just...
It's a low bar.
Very low bar. Very low bar, considering Stan Bowman was employed like 2 years ago. But this is a move that really jumpstarts things, and you see the Vikings releasing a bunch of players. Not going to talk about the one team in the NFC North, and then you have the Lions who have Jared Goff at QB, and it's just that. And it's like, guys, I might pick the Bears to win the North.
Don't do this.
I might pick the Bears to win the North.
Don't do this.
I'm just saying. We're back. Nyloff, give me it, Nyloff. What do you think about this trade? Poles daddy, Poles for president. It could go down as the greatest trade in Chicago Bears history.
I don't know too much about the old trade history.
The Bears historically don't make very many trades and not very many good ones.
This is a good one.
This would be right up there for contention then, if that's the case. So,
you gotta. The Justin Fields trade up is kind of...
He's looking pretty good right now. Shout out to Ryan Pace, one of the few positive things he brought to us. But my reaction was, like, I was pretty heavy all year on staying in the top 4. However, I said, if we get out of it and we get an absolute haul, which we did, then I can't be too mad. I mean, we got a haul. You got a receiver. You're still in the top 10. And I'm just going to come out and say it. I personally still would like to see him go receiver at number 9. I want Jackson Smith and Jigba. I want to turn this wide receiver corp from one of the worst in the fucking league into something that's going to strike some fear into some defenses across the league. That's me personally.
I think you've already done it. If Chase Claypool is what you gave, what was it, 34? That was the pick?
34, yeah.
If not Justin Fields, we know he's worth what we gave. 33. Thank you, Dylan. If Chase Claypool is truly worth that number 33 pick, you have DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and Darnell Mooney, who was, I think, a 4th-round pick, but he's played well above that level. Obviously, I'm very high on Darnell Mooney. I don't think you need to draft another receiver at 9. When you, like, most teams normally don't have more than 3 receivers on the field. Like, unless it's very late game, they need to throw the ball no matter what. So having 4 receivers with that draft capital just doesn't really make sense when you need that help somewhere else.
I mean, my thought process behind it is... Look, I mean, we're not going to fix every single area of the football team all in one offseason. That would be a fucking miraculous thing if Poles could realistically do that. And if he did, he would be a god to me. But
the point of trading back is so you can fix more pieces than you could have before.
Yep. And for me, I would draft Jackson Smith and Jigba. I would spend money on 2 O-linemen, and I would also get Bobby Okereke.
We still have no pass rush, Josh. There's no pass rush at all.
We have 2 second-round picks in a draft that is super deep.
I just think your boy Marvin Harrison Jr. is a better receiver and will be in a better position to take a receiver in next year's draft, how about we get the DBs that we want to see progress? How about we get them some help first?
If you're telling me,
maybe we go get Peter Skoronski or the kid from Georgia, and we sure up Justin Fields' blindside. It's another fantastic option. Getting another receiver, probably since we purposely got DJ Moore in a trade, it slides a bit down on the needs list.
I'm not saying it's the biggest need. It's just what I would personally like to see happen. I would like to see Justin Fields get his guy, like Joe Burrow got his guy, in a position that they should have taken offensive line. And have they won a Super Bowl? No. But the Bengals, since that fucking pick, have been pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but what if DJ Moore is that guy? Like he's a
DJ Moore to me is T. Higgins. And JSN is that guy. If we're looking at that scenario.
Dude,
Nick, I don't want to hear shit from you. I'm pretty sure on a podcast like 6-7 weeks ago, you called DJ Moore 2.
Listen, first of all, I just had to let you guys go on there because there was a good debate, and I just want to applaud you for that because that's maybe some of the most constructive back and forth we've had on the show. 2, I tend to lean with Bruce here.
I'm not saying Bruce is wrong either. His argument is phenomenal too,
but this is such a great spot to be in. We're debating stupid ass shit. Right, that's what I'm saying. We're debating nitpicky shit. If they take JSN, of course it's a good move, and then we'll be fine. And if we do Bruce's thing and get an offensive lineman and shore that up and maybe trade a pick next year to move up to get Marvin Harrison Jr., that's a good move too. The problem is the thing to remember here, and I just want to stress this, is that we're in such a great spot. It almost, I don't want to say it doesn't matter because yes, one move could work out better than the other, but Poles has put this team, this organization, and the Bears in such a good spot that it don't really fucking matter.
You can go a lot of ways with this, and it can end up being successful long term. Either of those directions that you take it, because there's a lot we can do. Obviously, with having 2 first-round picks, whatever we don't get a hold of and sure fix up this year, we have the ability to focus on that in next year's draft and offseason. So, I mean, like I said, my goal out of this offseason is fix up some key areas. I would like to see them specifically fix up 2-3 key areas heavily. And then I think we can compete for a playoff spot. I'm not saying we're going to go and win the North by any means. If we do, that'd be great. But I think we can definitely contend for a playoff spot. And then that next offseason, that's where you got to take the next really big jump and you got to go after the North. That's what I'm hoping to see in my realistic picture for things.
I mean, I'm putting on my glasses here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing, but the Chicago Bears are back. We're fucking back. We're ascending. As I've been telling someone on this show the entire year, it's been a slow climb and it just keeps getting higher and higher.
It's about to fucking shoot, baby.
And I'm not saying
to be like GameStop when everybody fucking was throwing money into GameStop, but there's no decline on this ship. There's no decline.
And I would just be a little nervous if I rooted for another team in this division. That's all I'm saying, because what they're doing is they're doing everything right. And I totally get the skepticism. And I know I called Dylan out on my little video. I understand where you were coming from, Dylan, because it would have been so Bears for them to stay at 1 and totally just be like, oh, we love like the whole Mitch Trubisky thing. Like, let's move up a spot and take the dude who drove a Toyota Camry to God. That was such God. Like whatever Ryan Pace did, drafting Kevin White, all that stuff. Does that? I'll go to that next. So we like JSN. JSN isn't a sure thing. This isn't Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think Bruce brings up a good point there. Are there? I don't want to say Kevin White vibes to him, but are there like taking a wide receiver that are? I don't think he's in the same class as Jamar Chase either. Is there a little nervousness if you take that guy?
Oh yeah, I mean, That's one of those moves where like he's not even a top 10 projected player right now. He's sitting somewhere in like 10 to 15 in most mocks. And if you take him at 9, like right there at the threshold of that projection, and he doesn't work, like it's going to feel like Kevin White vibes. It's much better. I'm much higher on JSN than I ever was on Kevin White.
Yeah.
And he's got the connection with Justin Fields, and we saw how well that worked at Ohio State and how well that works in the NFL going back to Burrow and Jamar. But like you said, he's not Jamar. He's not Justin Jefferson.
He's not that guy. He could be, yes.
Justin Fields has been saying for most of the offseason now that nobody separates like him, and I'm gonna take his word for it. But I just think it's not worth that swing when there's like 2 to 3 surefire players that you can get in that spot. I feel like.
Yeah, you could get Tyrese or Tyree Wilson in that spot potentially because the way this is shaping up, all the rumors going on, quarterbacks are going to go 1 through 4. I mean, if Jalen Carter's sitting at 9, I don't know if I trade back. I might just take Jalen Carter there.
I was gonna ask, are we still in on Jalen Carter?
Before we get to that, I just want to rebuttal your JSN thing.
Go for it.
You are 100% right to have some concerns, and you can bring up that he's not a projected top 10 pick, but after the injury that he had, I mean, that's not necessarily a shock. I think that the best possible place for him to land, though, is Chicago for him in his career because of that connection with Fields and what we saw at Ohio State. That's kind of where my idea is behind this. And if Justin Fields says that guy can separate like no other and he can stay healthy, I just think that is a fucking crazy matchup. And you now have DJ Moore going on the other side with them. I just think that would be a lovely thing to see for the offense. And in essentially one offseason, we've turned this guy's receiver corp from fucking complete, utter dog shit into that. I would just love to see that for Justin Fields, and it would show that our team and our GM is really pulling in all for him. That's what I would receive. But like I said, if Tyree Wilson's there, and that's who we can get at 9 too, and that's who we take, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and this draft is loaded with edge guys, so they're going to get edge guys somewhere that's going to make an impact.
That
next
pick
year.
From that we had a second from the Panthers this year, right?
No.
Yeah, 61.
61.
Wait, we did?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 9, 61.
We got 2 picks in the second round this year.
Next year and a second in 25.
That's why I was saying you can go D-line twice in the second round.
So
this draft's deep.
You're telling me that's news to me right now.
You were the one who sent the graphic, jackass. You didn't read it?
I read the first round picks and the second and 25.
We traded away 1, and in return we got the Panthers 9, then 61, which is 3 picks before. Like,
we got
the 29th pick of the second round.
We got Chase Claypool for free.
Next year.
I mean, no.
Technically,
traded like basically.
I mean,
pick this year for him.
You lost.
Did we?
Not a first.
It's pick
30. It technically is
pick
because
32.
the Dolphins lost there.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay, we got it right back.
But really, you traded back like 20 spots in the second round, almost 30 spots in the second round.
Fine. Like, I don't know how the second round pick is this year escaped these eyes. Probably so excited, but wow, just a masterful job by Ryan Poles. We'll obviously see how the draft picks and things turn out, but initially it's a crazy good move. And DJ Moore is a player that, another team in the NFC North that escapes my mind for a second, their name, but they tried to trade a first for this guy. So I would assume
they were asking for a first for him.
Yeah.
Oh no, they offered a first for him, and the Panthers declined it.
Okay.
This past trade deadline.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's a pretty good player.
Or they just wanted another receiver because they were hurt, and we had Sammy Watkins, and he was available.
Dylan? Who has the best wide receiving core in the NFC North right now?
Don't know.
That, ladies and gentlemen, means the Chicago Bears are right there.
I would argue.
You could argue Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
DJ Shark's gone.
DJ Chark wasn't that good anyway when he got to Detroit.
I mean, Brown and Williams aren't bad.
They have Jamison Williams coming like his first full season, so that we don't even really know what he's.
Did you see that
Time will
report?
tell with that one.
Did you see that report though that Dan Campbell isn't a fan of his and shit?
Dan Campbell's gonna get fucking fired anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I love MCDC.
That's that was a first round draft pick. Like they're not getting rid of him before. Like Dan Campbell's gone well before they get rid of Jamison Williams on a rookie contract.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good feeling. It's kind of Dylan. I kind of feel like you. It's like our football team did a good thing. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to do.
Here's a little stat.
Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know.
It's a little stat from Justin Fields. I don't know if you guys saw this when I sent it in the group chat. Fields led the NFL with a 66.7% completion percentage on throws between 10 and 19 yards. DJ Moore has 172 targets in that range since 2019.
It's a good pairing.
It's the second most in the NFL. I feel
Moore
like that just fits perfectly.
Catches the deep ball.
It's
really
not even
well
the deep ball. That's the intermediate.
No, I'm just saying, but that's like an addition on that.
How many attempts though from Fields?
Doesn't matter. 66%.
This is a cherry pick stat. I will admit it doesn't give me the attempts.
It could be like fucking 3.
It could be 2 for 3. He's not wrong.
With the Bears offense last year, it could be like 4.
It was minimum 50, so
right,
it was at least 50.
I mean, I'm sure Fields is on the lower end of that.
Has to be.
Dylan, when Getsy was in Green Bay, like, do you see him as someone who can actually run an NFL offense? Because I was seeing some like reports like last year, some of the Bears people on offense were like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" I mean, he came from your system, and it's not an easy system to run. Like, what was like the view on Getsy in Green Bay, or was it just a dude that took orders from Rodgers, basically?
I mean, I think all the coaches. I don't think the Bears offense, like the way it should be run, is not the style that Getsy typically calls, because it's I don't know.
It's an entirely different quarterback. You have to build the offense differently.
The quarterback in his offense is a game manager and makes the throws, the right timing throws, and takes care of the football. And you don't really see a running quarterback in their style of offense.
Yeah,
is that Getsy's style, or was that the style he had to perform to play to coaching?
Well, it's Matt LaFleur's offense.
Well, it was a blend. As soon as they got there, I mean, Rodgers has been there so long, so he's gonna make different calls and suggestions to what he wants to do, and he's not gonna fucking take a read option for 20 yards or even 10. So,
right. That's read options not even in that.
So I'm sure it's in the playbook, but it's just never used or never even attempted to be used depending on your personnel.
Yeah, but couldn't you make that? Well, you're going to make that same argument this year with Love as your quarterback, because now you're going to have a little bit more of a
there it is. I told you he wasn't going to make it the whole pod.
I didn't mention the other guy. I'm a Jordan Love guy. Jordan Love.
You hypothetically did by that statement.
Jordan Love's a Hall of Famer.
You said it without saying it. Did you just say Jordan Love's a Hall of Famer?
Sure did.
Yeah.
I'm predicting Jordan Love will be a Hall of Famer, so I can mush him.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter. What are the thoughts on Jalen Carter, boys? If he does fall to 9,
give me him. If he falls to 9, you'd be stupid not to take him. And like I said, have Tillman, have one of these bums in retirement come and be his shadow. Let him live with one of the veterans.
Not a fucking bum. You take that back.
Whatever. I'm saying
Again, he's an FBI agent. I think he's a little busy to babysit.
right. Have an
That's
FBI
his-
agent
Match his
fucking
salary to be
shadow
the
this
FBI
ass.
agent
But
attached to the
you
hip of Jalen
you
Carter.
don't want the feds on somebody who might be doing something illegal.
He
The
can't do
last
something
person-
illegal if the feds are with him 24/7.
Hey, just tell Lance Briggs to drunk drive his fucking Corvette on the side of the expressway again or whatever it was. And just, monitor
Why you
Jalen.
gotta bring up that?
That's who you want with him. The guy who's gotten out of some shit already, not the guy who's
Yeah.
gonna get you fucking arrested.
Have Devin Hester come back. He'll do it.
I love Devin Hester.
He really doesn't have anything else to do. He's not doing much.
No, he really
that
does.
you know of. I can't believe he's not in the Hall of Fame.
So we're
Easy
talking
kick
about
return.
this. Bruce, I know for you this probably changes what you do in free agency. I mean, I guess it changes everyone because now
No,
you
not
don't feel
really.
I guess now you don't feel the need to like go after a wide receiver who totally sucks because this free agent wide
I don't.
receiving class stinks.
I was never.
I'm gonna be
talking about
honest.
wide
I
receiver.
don't think if the Bears were actually targeting wide receivers outside of like Mecole Hardman, but that's again, like I said, a depth guy. Not
I would love that move now because he's like
I'd
the
take him
fourth
as
or
like a
fifth guy.
punt returner. Yeah, just somebody a change of pace guy.
Yeah.
Probably somebody you could give carries to out of the backfield if you feel like it. But yeah, no, otherwise I don't think it should change what the plan was at all. If they're going based on my off-season plans, I highly doubt that. But I was all in on offense and defensive line from the jump. So
Yeah, I think now they need to build the trenches. And well, Bruce, your off-season plan was kind of weird because you said let's bring in Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner,
30-year-old fucks.
Byron Jones. You were
I
really
didn't say we
Staying
should,
in the
and I didn't say we
timeline,
should bring
brother. Staying in
all
the
of them
timeline.
in.
and you said today, word for word, you said if the Bears don't trade for Darius Slay, I'm going to root for the Vikings next year.
That didn't happen. This just straight up.
Believe me, but you'd be lying if you said you weren't excited about that for a second.
I just said the Eagles gave
excited.
Darius Slay permission to look for a trade because that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why he'd want to leave Philly.
He wants a new contract. He's being greedy.
Didn't they just give him a new contract though?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
He's 32.
About the money.
Keep him away.
Yep, Dylan, that would be correct.
No, we have a decent secondary. We don't need to bring in overpriced veterans.
Nope, sure don't. Nyloff, you're so high on JSN. If you're Ryan Poles, what offensive lineman would you bring in free agency to counter not taking one early in the draft that could potentially be a starter this year?
I would just say if you can get 2 out of the 3 in 3 different positions, Orlando Brown, McGillicuddy, and the guard from the Eagles. I don't know how to fucking pronounce names. McGlinchey, whatever. You know what I'm fucking talking about. You know, if you can get 2 of
You're
those
also
3,
talking about Isaac Sayamalu, right?
So
yeah, I think he's left or right guard for the Eagles. Yeah, yep.
So 25 million, 15 to 20 million, 20 million.
Give me the 15 and the 20. I'll pay the 35 for it.
So you're gonna
And then I go
ignore
get Bobby
the blind side.
Okereke. I already had this argument. Look, I mean, if you can only get 2 of the 3 and you can't get Orlando Brown because he's too expensive and you don't want to tie up that much money there, then give Braxton Jones another shot. If you can get Orlando Brown at the right amount of money, if you can get him at like a Nick price, so you're saying don't pay over 22, and you can clear up that left side and not get yourself into trouble with cap in the long run, then by all means do it. But at the end of the day, all I want is to boost our offensive line with 2 good players out of free agency. That's what I would like to see. And I don't care where they are in the line because I just want to see it get better. I want to see progression this year in that area. Why are you shaking your head, Bruce? What's wrong with that?
Because we got one guy talking about having playoff aspirations for this team, and you're over here talking about fucking starting a 5th-round second-year player that wasn't very good last year.
Bruce, he's gonna start. I'm gonna let you in on a little fucking secret. Poles likes him a lot. He's going to start somewhere on your offensive line next year, whether you like it or not. He's
not a tackle. He's not a tackle.
And that's fine. That's totally fine. So maybe he doesn't start a tackle, but he will start somewhere on the line next year.
We'll see.
Do you want to make a bet?
I didn't think he played that bad to where I'm like, drop this guy.
He did.
And he really didn't. Pretty sure he was he on a rookie, like some sort of rookie award team too?
He was.
And he played fucking every game, every snap.
That's
No, that one's for sure not true. We didn't have a single offensive lineman do that.
He played every snap, and the best availability or ability is availability, Bruce.
Or why not be crazy and fucking draft 4 guys and have that group together? If you can't develop linemen, what's the
Bears
point?
left tackle Braxton Jones has been selected to the Pro Football Writers of America 2022 NFL All-Rookie Team. And you're talking about fucking just completely dropping this guy. And you don't even want to see him at even guard. That's just criminal.
I think he's going to start.
I said he can't play tackle.
Can't play tackle, but was all rookie.
There might not be that many rookie tackles, Josh. There might be like 3 to pick.
I don't care.
That's another good point.
Because didn't the guy
from the creme de la creme of whatever that group is?
Was this last draft?
We're talking about,
was this the draft that the Saints drafted that tackle who played like 1 snap and then they got benched for the rest of the year? So that eliminates one.
That's not my problem. Someone flopped. Our guy didn't flop. Our 5th-round pick didn't flop.
I think what we're saying is like there's a lot to be desired there. There's a lot he needs to prove, but the talent. I get both sides. There's talent, but he needs to show a lot in year 2 to be a part of your future going forward after that. He's going to play next year. That's just a fact. Poles likes him.
I'm not saying he's the fucking left tackle of the future, but I'm not saying don't give the guy a fucking shot. And like I said, man. I said it straight up to you.
I'm saying you can get the left tackle of the future in the draft at 9.
Listen, here's the problem I have with Orlando Brown. He's not a scheme fit.
I'd rather go D-line than O-line in the draft, personally.
Orlando Brown isn't a scheme fit. Yeah, he is a psycho for that.
It's my personal opinion. You know, I don't have to be right.
The defense is so much deeper in this draft than the O-line.
That is correct.
Yeah, you guys are talking about taking Tyree Wilson at 9. So, I mean, don't you guys
because the draft is so deep. Right, because Wilson's the 3rd best defensive lineman? Or the
You're
3rd best?
You're an idiot for not taking O-line at 9, yet you just said 15.
I'm not. I said I'd be fine with
you. I'm talking about the guy in the other corner.
Which corner?
Oh. I didn't call you an idiot. I never said you were an idiot. I said it wouldn't be wise to take another receiver at 9 because we just traded for a number 1 wide receiver.
I'm saying is, you guys
traded a pick
made a comment about me saying taking D-line over O-line, yet you talked about getting Tyree Wilson. If you have to go back and watch it. I said I would take D-line over O-line, and you both shook your heads or made a little comment about it. Yet 15 minutes before that, you're talking about taking Tyree Wilson at 9. So that's all I'm saying.
I said take either one. I said that earlier when I talked about who we should draft.
I'll review the tape then, and I'll clip it.
You can review the tape. I never called you an idiot.
I'm not saying you called me an idiot. I'm saying you made a comment about me.
You started to say that I was an idiot.
Well, we'll see who the fucking real idiot is when I fucking watch the tape.
I think the main point here, again, that we're just missing is that either way, take JSN at 1 or 9. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And that's because they would have taken offensive linemen more than 1 in free agency. And I think, Dylan, you're underestimating how much they're going to spend in free agency.
No, I'm not saying they're not going to spend money. I would just prefer to draft linemen and develop them. That way you keep that fucking momentum going, and then you replace the guys as they leave so you don't have to pay a tackle who the Packers do. Okay, I'll bring them up. The Packers do a very good job at drafting and developing, and then they always You guys signed Josh Sitton like 5 or 6
Yeah.
years ago, a year after he got cut back by the Packers, and he did nothing for the Bears. They know how to get him out at the right time. Same thing with Bulaga. Corey Lindsley's all right.
Wait, well, who's the dude the Bears just signed off the
Patrick.
Packers? Patrick
Lucas
Lucas
Patrick.
Patrick?
He was
Stay.
a depth guy anyway. He was a depth guy.
Yeah.
But
He
why
was
would you
good
Still,
for
they cut
what
him
he
loose and he didn't do shit.
Dylan is making the right point here. It's the Packers didn't need to keep that dude because they just developed another dude to take his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. I agree with you, Dylan. I would agree with that.
They drafted a guy in the 6th round or 5th or 6th round, Runyon Jr., who just put in at right guard, didn't miss a fucking game.
Yeah. I think that
pick didn't miss a game
at guard, and he could play multiple positions.
And his dad was a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Still got picked in the 5th round. I don't give a fuck about anybody's daddy. I care about the person on the field.
Josh drafted, didn't play.
Sorry, that was a good one-liner right there. Yes, that's why I'm saying play Braxton Jones and develop him. And let's see what we can get out of it. And I'm getting laughed at. I'm getting laughed out the room.
Or Dylan saying just to maybe draft an offensive lineman or two in the draft and develop those
You'd
guys.
Be better off.
You can do that too. Like I said, I don't. If this pick either has to be O-line, D-line, or Jackson Smith and Jake, but there's no other options for me. I don't want to see fucking Bijan Robinson at 9. I don't want to see a corner at 9.
No one's taking a corner of Bijan Robinson. If they take Bijan Robinson at 9, it'd be a very weird move. But
so I'm saying
McGillicuddy, McGlinchey, whatever the fuck, whatever you want to call him, big balls. He played in the same scheme that we are running, so he's a natural fit. That's going to get done. That deal's done. He will be a Chicago Bear. What they do otherwise, I don't know, and I probably wouldn't go after anyone else besides who's that dude? Taiwan Taylor.
Jawan Taylor. He plays right tackle.
Right tackle.
Yeah, you don't sign.
Instead, I would go after the Eagles guy that I was talking about at guard.
Then you go McGlinchey and then go from there. And I would draft. I get what you guys prefer, but it's got to be.
How old is the dude from the Eagles?
I'm talking free agents. I prefer that guy from the Falcons.
Which one?
The right tackle?
Yeah.
Oh, McCary.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Does he play a similar scheme though, where it just slots in and it's easy? I don't think so.
That's what's the challenging part about this. It's like you're going to go on a scheme fit, but you may get lesser of a player with less upside, but you'll get more of an instant impact if the scheme fit works out, which isn't always the case. So it's devil's advocate, but again, it's great to be nitpicking about this little shit because we got the first thing that needed to go right happen. And I was getting nervous because draft night, you never know what could happen. You can do what Ryan Pace has done. It's just bad. For them to get this done before free agency is huge because now you don't have to address wide receiver really at all. You don't want to. You could do it in the draft.
You don't have to at all in FA.
But if they come out the first day of free agency and snag an offensive lineman and Mecole Hardman, I don't think they'll go JSN at 9.
I would agree with you. At that point, you're kind of overloading the wide receiver room, and you know if that's the route they go, and then we draft O-line or D-line, I'm okay with it. I'm just saying that. I'm just letting you know what my preference would be, and I gave you my reasons.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to remember here too is that, like you were saying, Nyla, in the second round, you're going to have pretty much not back-to-back picks, but you're going to have 2 picks. You could go, like people are worried about the D-line, you can go D-line.
That's what I would do. And if one of them works out, it's great.
And you signed our boy Dramonte Jones to go with an edge. Draymond Jones with an edge and an edge. All of a sudden, the NFC North is a reality, baby. Just kidding. 2024 is the year.
And like I said, what you don't address this year, you got 2 firsts and another free agency pool to go through to address.
2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Yep.
I just want to see progression, and that's why I was talking about earlier, right? Like fix a corp now. Fix the wide receiver corp now. Fix middle linebacker now. Just fix things and get things in the right spot so that the following year we just build on it. That's what I want to see.
What do you guys do? Tony Pollard tag, Saquon Barkley tag. What are you guys doing at running back? I think I know this answer.
I'd run it with Herbert and draft someone 3rd and 4th round. or even later.
So you're not bringing
Personally.
Monty back.
No, I'm bringing Monty back. Run that back.
I would like to use that money elsewhere on the field. I think Herbert brings enough that you don't have to go and figure that out right this second if you're not going to get an all-star type guy. For me personally, I'm willing to cut ties based on that fact.
It doesn't sound like there's a ton of interest outside of the Bears for Montgomery.
It's going to have to be a hefty
he's gonna
team
be-
deal for him to come back. For me, I'd rather draft and use Herbert.
What?
He's saying
A
like
hefty
a
team deal,
very
meaning like the Bears
Oh,
are paying
oh,
very
oh,
minimum for Demon.
Okay.
It was a
Okay.
poor choice of words.
I heard that wrong. No, that's mine.
I think it's kind of like he's going to end up getting like 12 to 15 a year.
Oh, I'd rather draft someone. I'd rather use that money elsewhere than pay him 12, 15 a year. As much as I like him.
That's crazy. My thing with the running back, I mean, who would you guys take, Jamal Williams or David Montgomery?
Neither. I would draft late.
Dylan,
The guy
know what I was doing.
that fits the opposite of Khalil Herbert.
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams. Yeah, that'd be that guy.
Yeah, well, I would go and draft someone who's like Jamal Williams so that I don't have to pay him as much money and I can use and allocate that money elsewhere on the field.
But you have so much.
It's still you like we're talking about, Dylan. 2 offensive linemen ain't going to be cheap. We got to address and hopefully get Bobby Okereke in. Draymond Jones ain't going to be cheap. Like that money's going to add up, and I hope we are able to make those moves. But running back is not a position that you have to spend in. Spend it in the trenches. Middle linebacker position is shit. Fix that up a little bit. Let's roll from there. That's where I'm at.
Sounds like they should have kept the previous middle linebacker.
Oh, we don't need Fat Boy. Don't start that.
There goes Ed. Then there's $20 million. But how much is Bobby Okereke a year asking for potentially?
10 to 12.
10 to 12. I can get value out of 10 to 12.
I'll pay him 14 to come here. Ain't no
I'd rather keep it more towards the 10 mark, but
ain't no fucking 20 for an off the ball linebacker.
Interesting.
We might be able to get Bobby Wagner for cheap.
Who's it? Oh God, Bruce's boy. Don't talk about Bruce's boy like that. Who's the one linebacker from the Bucks that's a free agent that we were talking about? Was it Levante David?
White.
The other dude. Devontae White.
Not a free agent. The Bucks are considering cutting him, but it's Devin White.
He's like so fucking depressed.
Bruce, is Roquan got you down, or
I can't keep talking to this fucking moron about linebackers. He doesn't understand anything.
Me or Nylon?
You.
Why? What don't I understand?
You just yell about how no linebackers fit the scheme. Like none of them.
Everybody who would bring up, he does say he doesn't fit the scheme.
I just can't do it with him. There's like one guy in the world that fits Nick's scheme, and it was the guy he said we should sign. It's that specific guy. That's it. That's the only guy in the world that fits the Bears scheme.
Bruce, can you explain to me why I'm wrong about this?
Because you just don't understand.
I'm going to listen. Look, I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm giving you the platform right now. I will shut up and listen to you. Explain to me
why would you spend $20 million on Roquan Smith?
We don't have the time.
I've got all day.
No, to explain to Nick why you need a good linebacker.
He's muted.
It doesn't matter. It won't sink in.
Is Bobby Okereke a good linebacker?
At that point, not really. He's mid at best. As the fact that Nick doesn't think we should have he's big on bringing in Devin White, who is just like the same player as Roquan Smith. Like Roquan is actually based on the numbers, Roquan's actually better in pass coverage. Yeah, he's trying.
You muted him. Bruce would have never got through any of this.
He's trying to say Roquan can't catch. You don't need a linebacker to be able to catch.
Yeah. I agree.
He needs to be able to
Roquan,
make
or,
tackles and
Dylan is not
stay
Roquan.
run
Dylan,
and
would you have
coverage
paid
with tight
Roquan Smith
ends.
$20 million a year?
If he
I
was a
think that's just
leader
what the
on
market
defense,
is going to
yeah.
be. I honestly think that's just what the market is going to be.
Then it does.
Look, he's still over there. Like, no, like, yes, that's what the market is.
He's
Bobby.
was all pro, right? I don't know if he was or not. Just
No,
This year
he was
he'll be
an
all
all-pro.
pro.
No, he was all-pro snub.
He should be all
For
pro this
Fred.
year.
He might have been second team, but he gets snubbed. His numbers were very similar to
Bobby
Fred
Wagner.
Warner's. No, Fred Warner's.
No.
Yeah, yes. They were very similar in like almost all statistical categories, and they just don't respect him. Now that he plays for the Ravens, I bet he wins, or like I bet he's one of the top linebackers in the NFL.
I see both sides, but I also I will agree that you need that. I would have personally kept him, to be honest. You had the money. What's the point? Now it's a need, and you're going to sign a guy for $14 million a year when you could pay a little bit more for an established former all-pro player who's still in his prime. Yeah. Thank God he's muted because he's going to say something.
Thank God. He really is.
Is Okereke the same age as Roquan or older?
Older.
Exactly.
And just not
Who
as
cares?
good.
He can cover. Yeah. How many interceptions does he have? Because that's a big stat for you. Okay. I'm going to unmute him so he can or just unmute yourself.
All right, unmute yourself and let's hear the rebuttal.
Listen, that was good linebacker education. Here's my thing. Roquan, not a leader on defense. If he was, people would have been sad when he left. No one was sad. No one cared because kind of a dickhead.
Because you weren't sad.
2, no, not because I wasn't sad. 2, he can't cover. 3, like, I understand your little stats that you like, Bruce. Interceptions, pass defenses, all that.
You like that.
No, I don't.
Those are you.
No, they're not.
You constantly talk about how
No,
he
they're
can't
not.
defend the pass. I give you pass defense statistics, and you just disregard them.
He's only got one interception. That means he's not good.
I've watched with my own eyes Devin White shut down Travis Kelce.
His QB rating allowed
I don't care about that.
in his career is much lower or much higher than
I
Roquan
do not
Smith.
give a fuck.
It's because Mahomes was running for his life in that game. Devin White didn't really have to do much because Mahomes was running circles in the backfield. So
Guys,
stop it.
Here's the bottom line.
Stop.
You're not paying Roquan Smith. Okay, we can stop that comparison, but you're not paying Roquan Smith $23 million a year. You rubbed a lot of people in the organization the wrong way.
He took 20. He took 20.
How many?
If the Bears wouldn't have been,
he didn't accept 20 for us. We probably offered 20.
Correct, we did. We offered 19.5.
That's not 20.
So you're gonna pay 14 for a worse player just because you played in the Colts system for Eberflus.
And can cover.
10.
He can't.
And can cover.
All right, where's the stats?
I will get them to you.
And
I will get the tape to you.
5 passes defended last season.
Again, he doesn't have a lot of.
Had 6.
You know why Roquan had more passes
He only had to
defended?
defend 5 because his pass protection was so good.
Yeah.
No one threw the ball at him.
Yeah, his coverage is so good that teams don't target him in the passing game like they target Roquan.
Or
how many games did Roquan not show up for last year that we saw? A lot.
There were some games, at least half, where he did not look like the best player on the field that he should have been. But there were 2 games he won.
That's fine against the Texans. Great. That helped us so much. But the bottom line is he's an off-the-ball linebacker, wanted too much money, didn't have an agent, has off-the-field issues that you guys are all well aware of. And it's 2023. Linebackers don't win championships anymore. How many playoff games did the Ravens win this year? With Roquan, the God Almighty off-the-ball linebacker.
They held the almighty Bengals to 17 or 20, whatever the score was. Was it 24-17?
That's a good performance, especially with a backup quarterback.
Did they win?
They
They did
fucking
not.
lost on a fumble with the
Okay.
D lineman running 90
Okay,
yards the other way.
Just wondering if they won or not. You know why they didn't win, Dylan? Probably because they didn't have the right quarterback. Because quarterbacks matter.
You realize when
Other things
Roquan
matter.
got Smith when Roquan Smith got traded.
And Roquan got Smith.
When Roquan Smith got traded, the Bears were like a top 12 defense in the NFL, despite being a bad team. Once he left, that defense plummeted. What they finished 30th in most major categories. Like they became one of, if not the worst defense in the NFL without him. Like overnight, he was there. They traded Robert Quinn. The defense looked bad. They were still not a terrible unit. Roquan Smith goes. Nothing works right again.
So you saying Eberflus stinks?
No, I'm saying he had no talent to work with. And the players that were holding that defense together got shipped out and they fell apart.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to go back to the Robert Quinn trade? Should we have kept him? Because he had 20, broke the Bears sack record the year before. How'd that work out, Bruce? Was he? Did he have an impact?
Bruce, I think you did kind of defense keeping him.
I can't.
To be fair, I think you did. We could review the tape on that too, but
I said we should have got more in that trade. I didn't say we should keep it.
He played. Do you know how many games he played?
That does sound correct to me.
That's not our fault.
You want to know how many games he played?
They didn't trade for an injured player. He got hurt when he was there.
Yeah,
that's
and
has nothing to do with his trade.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
I think the Eagles would have won if Robert Quinn was healthy.
I agree.
I can't. Yeah, the bait word.
It's just more depth on that defensive line.
Dude, you're an idiot.
There's no way that's a bad. If he's healthy,
Quinn is not the difference in that Super Bowl, bro. Come on now,
Bruce. I'm gonna let you start a Madden franchise, and you can keep Robert Quinn and fucking Roquan on the Bears, and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
You're missing the point.
What's the point?
You're missing the point, Nick.
Yeah, you are. You big time.
What's the point?
I'm not even, because you're not going to see it even after I explain it.
Yeah.
No, tell me. I'm going to shut up. I'm listening. You have my full attention.
Mute him again. Mute him again.
It doesn't matter.
Mute him again, and I don't want to see a single fucking thing.
He muted himself.
I don't want to see you fake talk. I don't want to see you move. I want you to sit there
and fucking He already muted himself. It doesn't matter.
Put the glasses on and sit there and shut up and listen.
Keep doing this because he won't. He will hear it, but he won't listen. He already has ideas in his head that to him are 100% correct. So me with any sort of differing opinion does not matter.
I'm listening to you right now. I will take this with a grain of salt. Just say what you want to say.
This was supposed to be a half-hour podcast, and we're going.
I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time here.
I can't keep explaining.
Explain it. Give me one chance. I'm focused in 100%. Just tell me. I'm gonna go on mute. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and I'm not gonna say anything. I won't even rebuttal this. We can just move on.
The point is Robert Quinn, regardless. Roquan Smith is a very good linebacker, and we've created a massive hole in that space where we didn't have to. You just don't want to, now we're going to go get Bobby Okereke, and he's not as good in any capacity as Roquan Smith. He doesn't tackle as well. He doesn't play the pass as well. You keep saying he plays the pass well. He doesn't play the pass as well as Roquan Smith. He doesn't have the speed Roquan Smith has. He doesn't have the size Roquan Smith has. And he's older. You keep talking about how we want to keep people's age down. He's like 28, 29. Roquan Smith is 25. It's the difference in $6 million when you're a cap rich team. What is it really worth getting a much lesser player? Because I disagree. I think that was a big it is a big need. We don't have a true starting middle linebacker now, and it's because we felt that one guy was too expensive. So now we're going to take a shittier product.
Just because it saves money.
which we
Yeah.
have.
Dylan, how much a year do you pay your linebackers?
One's a rookie or was a rookie, and I think 15. But he signed a. Hold on, I don't. He was also an All-Pro, so he might be getting more.
I was gonna say I feel like Devondre Campbell is making closer to like 18.
Yeah, hold on. But he was the year they signed him, or off the practice squad. He was making $750K. I think it was like a 3-year deal for like 30 something mil. So, but he also wanted to play in Green Bay, so it's a little bit different. But I get Bruce's point, and I side with him here.
How much are the Eagles paying their linebackers?
I was wrong. Devondre Campbell's dead cap value for next
12.
season is 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's
And
also
they
How much
found
are
him
the
on
Chiefs
somebody's
paying their middle
practice squad.
linebackers?
he's also older. He's going to be 30 this year. So, what are you talking about? Chiefs linebackers are on rookie deals still.
Right. Because they're a good organization that develops their players
Who
and
also
doesn't
spent
overpay
$500 million or
for
half a million
fucking
$500 million
stupid
on a quarterback.
positions. Have a good
Happy for that
defensive
guy.
line. Have a good defensive line. Have a good offensive line. You don't need Roquan Smith, a linebacker.
Is their defensive line good anyway? I mean, they cut Frank Clark. All they have is Chris Jones now.
I'm talking about the Bears. I'm not talking about
Well,
I'm just talking
we don't have a good D line either.
right now.
Yeah,
That could change. That's what I'm
be
saying.
good in the trenches.
You be good in the trenches, and I promise you, in 2023, the really good organizations, the great organizations that are winning. Let's look at the Final Four teams. The Eagles aren't paying a linebacker $20 million a year.
Not yet.
The 49ers are going to have
None
to.
The only
Warner is the
really good
highest
quality
paid
team that
linebacker
has
in
a
the
Super Bowl
NFL.
chance that's paying linebackers is Fred Warner in San Francisco.
And he's the highest paid linebacker in the NFL.
How much is he making?
He's making $17 a year.
So Roquan makes more than him.
It's just the market. Every year it goes up. It does not matter. I try to keep telling you this week after week.
I agree.
You're right.
The
You're
cap
right.
goes
I'm saying
up,
The only
people want
Super
more.
Bowl contending team that's paying that much for a linebacker is one, and it's the San Francisco fucking 49ers and Fred Warner.
For now.
All of those good linebackers are going to have to get paid. They're not going to sit fucking jobless.
Well, we'll see if the team that they're on that went to the Super Bowl and contended pays them, or if they move on.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if
really
they move on or not. Somebody is going to pay them money, a lot of money, because they are
Listen,
good. Like Nick
The
Bolton is
Ravens
going to get a
fucking paid
big
Roquan, and I
contract.
don't see them going to a Super Bowl anytime fucking soon. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe they should have spent that money on wide receivers for Lamar, or maybe an offensive line for Lamar, so the guys
maybe Lamar himself, since that's an issue for them.
Maybe that
the Bears didn't have that problem. I don't know.
My argument is I would spend that money elsewhere.
The Ravens spending that money makes no sense. The Bears spending that money makes total sense.
I get what you're saying, Bruce, and I think a little bit had to do with the way he rubbed the organization in certain ways, and maybe it was just like, hey, like we're just not going to pay you. You don't have an agent.
Don't get me wrong. I agree that he went about last offseason like a moron, but
yeah,
the Bears also tried to lowball him consistently because he was acting like a moron, which
they
made him
offered him 19 and a half, and he didn't take it.
Moron.
That's not lowball.
Yeah, they had offered him 19 and a half.
500,000 is not a lowball offer.
And if he really wanted to stay, he could have stayed.
Did you see an offer sheet?
Yes. They offered him 19 and a half mil. It's a fact. 100%. I swear on my grandma's life. That's what the offer was. 19 and a half.
That's what somebody told you an offer was.
No, that's the offer. Polls went to him when he first got there in the offseason, said 19 and a half.
I'm not.
It's okay, but this is the good thing, though. You're not the GM. This isn't Madden. Thank God Robert Quinn and Roquan are off the team because we're in a much better spot for it. So thank you.
Are we in a better spot without Roquan Smith?
1,000% we are. Because we're not paying a fucking linebacker $20 million.
Because we don't have a linebacker. We don't have one.
Don't need one.
Don't
I'll plug
need
in
one.
Sanborn.
Oh my god.
We'll plug in Sanborn. He'll be great.
This is what I was saying. Everything I say goes in one ear and just straight out.
Bruce, I hear you. I hear you.
No, I know
don't
you hear
agree
me, but
with you.
you're not listening.
What if Sanborn turns out to be a good role NFL start?
You still need 2.
Hey, Nick Morrow's a stud.
Oh god.
I'm not saying Nick Morrow's a stud, but I actually kind of liked Nick Morrow last year. I didn't think he played that bad.
Played better than
He's not a
Roquan
stud.
most of the
He
time.
ain't Roquan, that man.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Let's move on from the linebacker position because clearly we disagree about that.
Did Nick Morrow play that bad?
No, he played better than Roquan most of the year.
Oh my.
I did not say that.
I'm saying I'll put it on tape. Roquan Swift, mediocre.
Roquan Swift.
He can tackle. Cool.
This podcast is done. We're done. We jumped on to talk about the trade. We've gotten so far away. I am done with this call.
Do you think this will be the last Roquan debate we have in the pod? 'Cause I feel like in September.
I know it's not going to be. That's why I'm cutting this off now.
Hey.
So
we started in September saying the Bears should trade. I said the Bears should trade Roquan and all this stuff. Got into arguments then, and then here we are in March still talking about linebacker.
Still with a massive hole at linebacker. With
I wouldn't call it
an
massive.
all-pro player that we could have had. That's it.
Goodbye.
Everybody go to sleep.
Bye, Roquan. Thanks for joining.
Shout out Underdog Fantasy Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you
Promo
next
code
week. Promo code Frosty. Up to $100 deposit bonus.
Fuck off the
See
ball
ya.
linebackers. Pussy.